In the heart of Maplewood, Ohio, a quintessential American suburb where 4th of July barbecues filled the air with the smell of grilled hot dogs and kids chased fireflies under the glow of porch lights, Emily Carter thought she'd found her sanctuary. At 35, freshly divorced from Mark, a corporate drone who'd traded their marriage for late nights at the office, Emily craved stability. The house at 47 Elm Street was a steal, a charming 2-story colonial from the 1950s, with creaky hardwood floors, a spacious kitchen perfect for baking apple pies, and a backyard swing set that whispered promises of future family gatherings. The real estate agent, a perky woman named Karen with a bob haircut and a perpetual smile, had glossed over the details. Oh, the previous owners? They just relocated suddenly. Job transfer. You know how it is. Emily ignored the sidelong glances from the neighbors during the open house. Mrs. Jenkins from next door, a retired school teacher with a fondness for gossip, had pulled her aside. That house, it's got a history. Folks say it's not right. But Emily laughed it off. Superstitions in the Midwest? Please. She signed the papers, moved in her boxes of thrift store finds and IKEA furniture, and even splurged on a smart home system. Alexa-controlled lights and a doorbell camera for that extra sense of security. The first oddity came on moving day. As Emily unpacked in the living room, surrounded by the faint scent of fresh paint and old wood, she heard a soft scratching. It emanated from behind the floral wallpaper, like tiny claws scraping against the drywall. Nice, she thought, practical as ever. Old houses like this one, built right after World War II when soldiers were coming home to start families, often had pests. She made a mental note to call an exterminator and blasted some Taylor Swift on her phone to drown it out. That night, as a summer storm brewed outside, thunder rumbling like distant fireworks, Emily settled into her new bed upstairs. The room was cozy, with a bay window overlooking the quiet street where minivans parked neatly in driveways. She drifted off, dreaming of better days. But around 2 a.m., the scratching returned, louder and more insistent. It wasn't random. It had a rhythm, like Morse code tapping out a message. Emily sat up, her heart skipping a beat. She flicked on the bedside lamp, but the sound stopped abruptly, leaving only the patter of rain on the roof. The next morning, bleary-eyed over coffee, Emily searched online for house noises. Forums were full of mundane explanations. Settling foundations, wind in the vents, even raccoons in the attic. Reassured, she headed to her new job at the local library, shelving books and chatting with patrons about the latest Stephen King novel. But when she returned home that evening, the scratching had evolved. Now, it was accompanied by a faint murmur, like voices muffled through layers of insulation. She pressed her ear to the wall in the hallway, straining to listen. Was that whispering? She's here. The new one. Emily jerked back, laughing nervously at herself. Great, now I'm hearing things. Divorce stress, that's all. She called Mark, her voice echoing in the empty kitchen. The house is making weird noises, like someone's inside the walls. He chuckled, that condescending tone she hated. It's an old place, probably pipes or something. Or you're watching too many horror movies on Netflix. Get a hobby, join a book club or whatever. Hanging up, she felt a pang of isolation. Maplewood was friendly on the surface, with its block parties and waving neighbors. But she was the outsider now, the single woman in the family home. By the third night, the whispers grew clearer, seeping into her dreams. Emily woke in a cold sweat, the words lingering. Emily, we've been waiting for you. How did they know her name? Panic rising, she grabbed a flashlight and inspected the walls. In the bedroom, where the wallpaper sagged slightly from humidity, she peeled back a corner. Underneath, etched into the drywall like frantic carvings, were names and dates. Mary Thompson, 1952, taken. Tom Riley, 1978, joined. Lisa Grant, and if consumed, dozens of them, scrawled in what looked like blood or faded ink. At the very bottom, as if freshly added, Emily Carter, 2023, hours. Her breath caught. This wasn't a prank. The carvings were old, layered under paint jobs from decades past. She snapped photos with her phone and texted them to her best friend Sarah back in Chicago. WTF is this? My house is haunted or something? Sarah's reply came quick. Creepy AF. Research the address online. And get out if it feels wrong. Emily dove into a rabbit hole that night, laptop glowing in the dim living room. Local archives mention 47 Elm Street vaguely, a string of disappearances over the years. In 1952, Mary Thompson vanished from her bedroom, leaving only a note. "The walls called me." In 1978, Tom Riley, a Vietnam vet, was last seen tearing at the wallpaper before he went missing. Lisa Grant in 2005. Her case was still open. Neighbors reported hearing screams, but the police found nothing. The house had been sold multiple times, always at a discount, always with owners fleeing after a few months. One article from a fringe paranormal blog claimed the house was built on an old Native American burial ground, disturbed during post-war construction. "The spirits hunger," it read. "They whisper you into the walls." Shaken, Emily tried to rationalize it. Urban legends, that's all. But as midnight approached, the thumping started. A low, pulsating rhythm like a heartbeat echoing through the vents. It vibrated the floorboards, making her teeth chatter. The whispers multiplied, surrounding her. "Join us, Emily. The house is lonely without you." She barricaded the bedroom door with a dresser, but the voices seeped through anyway, now accompanied by faint laughter, like children playing a twisted game, desperate. She invited Mrs. Jenkins over the next day for neighborly tea. The old woman hesitated at the door, her eyes darting to the walls. "I told you, dear. That house? It takes people. My husband knew the Riley boy. He said he heard voices too before he disappeared. They found scratches inside the walls, like he'd tried to claw his way out." Emily's stomach dropped. "Inside the walls?" Mrs. Jenkins nodded. "The police tore some open back then. Empty but marked up. Don't stay, girl. Sell it quick." That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and streetlights buzzed to life, Emily decided to confront it. Armed with a hammer from the garage, she smashed into the bedroom wall. Plaster crumbled, revealing insulation and wooden studs. But deeper, amid the dust and cobwebs, she found something horrific. A small, hidden cavity, like a forgotten crawl space. Inside, scraps of clothing, a faded dress from the 50s, a man's tie from the 70s, a woman's scarf from the 2000s, and bones. Small, fragmented bones, etched with more names. The whispers exploded then, no longer muffled. "You're home now, Emily. Feed the house." The thumping intensified, shaking the entire frame of the building. She stumbled back, but the floor seemed to tilt, pulling her toward the hole. In the mirror across the room, her reflection moved independently, smiling with too many teeth, eyes black as voids. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating shadows that twisted like grasping hands from the walls. Emily fled to the bathroom, locking the door and dialing 911. "Please, send help. There's something in my house." But the line crackled with static, and a voice, not the operator's, replied, "No one can hear you." "You're ours." The door rattled, the knob turning on its own. She screamed, pounding on the walls, but the house swallowed her cries. The next morning, the neighbors noticed the "for sale" sign back in the yard, planted crookedly as if in haste. The house stood silent, windows like empty eyes staring at the street. Emily's car was still in the driveway, but she was gone. Police searched, finding the hole in the wall and the bones, but no trace of her. Whispers persisted in Maplewood folklore. If you listen closely on stormy nights, you can hear her name added to the list, echoing from within. Some homes aren't built for living. They hunger for company, forever.